Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a beautiful virtual Volusia Speedway Park here in Barberville, Florida. Amazing shot of that sun going down. It's new series alert. The Dirt Revival Tour happily bringing back their season with season number 3, man. The Dirt Revival Tour, the DRT, it all got started about a year and some change ago over on the Arsenal TV YouTube channel. That's another venture of mine that, we won't really get into. This is the OutPost Racing Network, ladies and gentlemen. My name, Mac Nelson. I'll be your lone voice in the booth here tonight. I'll be pushing all the buttons and I'll be making all the calls. When it comes to the cool calls, the stuff you like to enjoy, not entirely sure on who the race director or race official is going to be throughout this season, but they are the ones making the call down there on the track. So very, very good luck to them. I know they're going to do a fantastic job, but yeah, guys, we're here. It's the Dirt Revival Tour, season number 3, and it could not be any bigger than it is here now. As we get a good shot of Barney the flag man there. Ooh, practice just about to wrap up. We'll go ahead and get you in an ever so expanding view here. As we'll get that car noise turned back up for you. Drivers taking to the track, getting things packed in. Trying to make sure that they have the best racing surface possible here tonight. And before we really get started with anything, I do just want to say thank you to the Dirt Revival Tour team who chose to bring me on for the broadcasting rights for this season. Let me explain to you guys just a little bit about what's going on here. It's going to be a 5-week series, or a 10-week series, I should say, consisting of 5 races. We're going to be going week, or bi-weekly, I should say. So we'll pull the schedule up for you now. Here is your Season 3 schedule for the Dirt Revival Tour. So if you look there, round number 1, which is tonight, June 15th, will be 70 laps around Volusia Speedway. That's going to be one heck of a show here. I can almost guarantee you that. Round number 2 will come at you June 29th. It's going to be 80 laps. That is going to be around Lanier National Speedway, newly refreshed Lanier, as of a few months ago here on the iRacing official service. Round number 3 is going to take place July 13th. That is going to be for 70 laps. Around Lernerville, man, my personal favorite dirt oval on the official service. Lernerville Speedway drivers are going to be sending it. Hopefully they don't push it off the berm, visit the Shadow Realm. We saw here on the OutPost Racing Network with the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour just a few short weeks ago, just how many drivers truly sent it there. Round number 4 is going to take place at Peevely, or I-55, as a lot of people call it, but it is the Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park. That is located in Peevely, Missouri. That will be July 27th. That is going to be 80 laps around there. And then round number 5 to end things off. August 10th, 100 laps around the Charlotte Dirt Oval. Going to be one electric show. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's some additional money to win on this race and round number 5. I believe it's going to be $50 to win. I think. Don't hold me to that, because I don't want to put a prize purse that does not exist up in the air. But I'm pretty sure it's $50 to win for tonight at Volusia and round number 5 at Charlotte Dirt, along with the big purse for the entire season. So drivers are going to have a lot to fight for every single night of this season. We'll expand things for you guys so you know that we're taking a look here at Jordan injuries in that number 57 late model, as he is going to be starting his flying lap. Nate Wimhoff, Scott Colm Jr., Jamie Kreutoff. No idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I am not, but I believe it is Jamie Kreutoff. In the number 25, he is out on track as well, as long as Bicky, Justin Hardy, Cody Buck, and Jordan McLean. But while these drivers are doing their thing qualifying-wise, I do just want to say major, and I mean absolutely major shout-out to all the sponsors of this league. Frankly, none of this would be possible without your guys' patronage. So big shout-out to our sponsors. That's going to go to Atlas VGO, as well as a big thank you to Lab Rats Racing. You can see the logos in the top right there. It will be on all night, every single night, so you never forget who made this series possible. And also a big shout out to Wotel, the World of Thunder Esports League. They've quickly become one of the premier dirt racing organizations on iRacing, with multiple divisions, which make for tight weekly competition, money-paying events, and some of the fastest drivers on the service. Wotel delivers top-tier racing every single time they hit the track, and through their hashtag Make a Difference initiative, they're also helping build a more positive and supportive sim racing community. If you're looking for great competition and an even better community, Wotel is absolutely worth checking out. So once again, a big shout out to them for hopping on board. As we get a look at Steven Gaines III in his super late model. I assume these are super late models. I actually didn't get the exact information here on what we're doing. I assume it's going to be super late models. I don't know why it'd be anything else. They kind of sound like super lights. I mean, you hear that roar, man. But at the end of the day, man, I am just the broadcaster. There's a reason I'm not out on track, ladies and gentlemen. It would not be a very good sight. But qualifying is over. Tyler Bickford going to be fastest with a 15.32, I believe that said. And that means we get started with heat race number 1. Here at Volusia, going to be 10 laps. We'll go through as many heats and consies as we need to get it boiled down to, I believe, a top 24 that will make the main event. So with that being said, we'll go over your starting grid for heat race number 1 tonight. In pole, gonna be who we just talked about, Tyler Bickford, better known as Bicky, in the number 7. Clayton Johnson gonna be outside row number 1 in that number 33. Scott Colm Jr. representing KRE, gonna be in the number 3 spot here at Volusia Speedway Park. In P4, going to be Dalston Rutherford representing Mason Klein Motorsports. Brandon Jones in the number 9, going to be representing Midwest Sim Sports, as well as Kyle Davis. Not to be confused with Kyle Mavis, who runs in the Apex this GT4 Tuesday series. This is going to be Kyle Davis representing Speed Ranch E Setups. Kinzer Tosh in the number 11. He is going to be in P7. Zach Gold going to be outside row number 4. Cody Buck and Justin Hardy are going to make up row number 5 with TJ Boyd in P11. As I believe we are ready now as we get a good look at the fan section there. Packed house here all the way down south in Barberville, Florida. Which I guess it would make sense to probably go over our track intel here this week. Round number 1. Volusia Speedway Park has been a cornerstone of dirt racing for more than 50 years, evolving through multiple transformations while remaining home to the legendary Dirt Car Nationals. They opened the track in 1968. Their next event is going to be July 11th. It's the Summer Sizzler, so make sure if you're around the Barberville area, go take yourself a look, man. Go see what Volusia has to offer in real life. It's not all about the simulator. As cars are going to make their way around the oval here for a second time. Lights are out on the pace truck, so that means next time by we will be going green. Thank you guys so much for inviting us into your homes here on a Monday night. What a better spot to be than right here on the Outpost Racing Network. It's new series alert. And the green flag is about to fly for the first time on the DRT season number 3. 5 races, 10 weeks. It all starts here. We are green at Volusia. Tyler Bickford off to an incredible start, but down into turn number 1 for the number 32 of Scott Colm Jr. He's going to overcook a little bit on that turn number 1. It might cost him a few spots. He's already lost his spot to Dalston Rutherford. Kyle Davis going to be trying to do the same thing here. Only 10 laps for this heat. I don't know how many we're taking. I gotta think it's gonna be 3. I would assume it's going to be 3. Could be more, could be less, but that's what we're gonna go with here for now. Tyler Bickford in the number 07. Clayton Johnson doing a very good job of not letting Tyler Bickford get away. There have been moments in the latter half of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel season where Tyler Bickford started to kind of grow into his own name. He started to expand the brand, and the racecraft was expanding as well. He got to a point where he was doing the things we see out of like the likes of Jesse Newsom or maybe Mike Augustine. He was getting up and out away from the rest of the grid. It's good to see Clayton Johnson here kind of trying to ream that in, making sure that can't happen, because when that does happen, as early on as in a heat race, it can really build a lot of confidence for a driver going into the feature. A little ways further back from them is going to be Dalston Rutherford in that number 5. The league has him in number 20, but the car says 5, so looks like we'll be going with the number 5 here tonight. But he was getting challenged by Scott Colm Jr., but he has managed to kind of calm that down. He's managed to get out and away from him. Meanwhile, Scott Colm Jr. in a battle with Kyle Davis here. This is going to be for P4. So for Scott Colm Jr., he's got to get up and past Dalston Rutherford if it is indeed top 3 to make it. However, he's only got just a few more corners to do it because Tyler Bickford and Clayton Johnson are taking the white flag here. Going to be one more lap until heat race number 1 is finished. Around turns 3 and 4, it's going to maintain symmetry. Tyler Bickford going to take the first heat of the season. Clayton Johnson, Dalston Rutherford rounding out your rostrum for heat race number 1, and what I believe are the 3 transfer spots available. So Scott Colm Jr., Kyle Davis going to be barely missing out there. It was a fantastic heat race number 1, but we've got to run it all the way back. And we've got to do it a couple more times before we get to our consolations. Your grid for heat race number 2. Stephen Gaines the third, going to be on pole, representing NLRA and Fusion Setup Shop. See, you can tell I'm getting old. I had to squint to read that. Oh, my goodness. Aiden Lewis in the number 55, representing MWSS. JP Shed, representing Never Lift Motorsports. K-Dub, Kevin Walker, I haven't seen him in a while. He is going to be representing Dirty South Performance. He is in P4. Nate Wimhoff, a regular here on the network. He is going to be in P5 with Derek Jester. Outside row number 3, Justin Upchurch and Justin Byram make the row 4. Justin Lockout, Casey Borgmeyer, and Zach Staggs make row number 5 with Jacob Isaac in the number 28. Making up row number 6, and he's going to be our last driver on the grid. So drivers are going to have to do pretty much the same thing here as their predecessors did in heat race number 1. It's going to be very important that these cars like Aiden Lewis, JP Shed, and K-Dub, they don't let the leader get out and away. They have to make them work for this heat race win. One more time around. Lights are going to be going out on the pace truck. Which means that drivers are going to have to calm down and really put the pedal to the metal here. I'm looking at the I ratings as we look across this heat, and things are very, very close, all in that top 6 or possibly 7. So drivers are going to have to be very, very careful here. It will not be an easy heat race, that is for sure. iRacing official pace truck going to make its way into the safety of the infield, and Stephen Gaines the third is going to push that button extremely early before the pace truck can even make it off the racing surface. But we are out and away, heat race number 2, and here comes K-Dub in the 24, making it 4 wide. He's already all the way up into P2. It's going to be down hard into turn 1. He's going to be losing momentum on that corner for sure, but the job is pretty much done anyway. Nate Wimhoff going to be getting into a little trouble with what I believe is Justin Byram. Back behind him, no, I apologize, that's going to be the 55 of Aiden Lewis, who has had a torrential start here, already down 4 spots into P6. Justin Byram's going to make that wound a little bigger. Aiden Lewis now down 5 spots into P7. Justin Byram, one of the main men over there at Coast to Coast Sim Sports. Fun fact, they nicknamed him Big Head. And let me tell you, gentlemen, I know the guy in real life. It is true, maybe even a little bit of an understatement. But Aiden Lewis now in the 55. He's trying to fend off the latter half of this grid, and it starts with the 27 of Justin Upchurch, who is in no way related to Ryan. So that was a little bit of sad news when I heard that one. Meanwhile, Stephen Gaines still in the front with a team list that, quite frankly, is just ungodly long. NLRA, Fusion Setup Shop, Outlaw Graphics, and HGR. He's got a lot of people on his back, a lot of people to make sure that that race car is in tune, and let me tell you, folks, that it is. Leading this heat race, K-Dub hot on his trail, though. Around the outside is K-Dub. He's gotten alongside. The top line is officially his. We'll have to see if he can push that momentum, if the track is worked in enough to make it fast, and boy, it is. 2 laps to go. That was 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flagman. As the 24 of Kevin Walker, some call him K-Dub, including me, he is going to take the white flag one more time around here in virtual Barberville. What a move from the jump. And ladies and gentlemen, if you won a heat racing class, I mean, you just had to watch this. Kevin Walker's going to take it He wins heat race number 2 off the back of a very gutsy move, lap 1, turn 1, that managed to work out in his favor. Stephen Gaines III comes in P2, JP Shed rounding out the podium. As that was heat race number 2, and just like that, we'll get started very, very shortly with heat race number 3. I apologize, guys. It's all happening so fast. I got to take a drink of my water. As soon as I do that, we'll get into your starting grid here tonight. In P1, it's going to be the 17 of Zachary Metzner representing Midwest Sim Sports. In P2, Jordan McLean. P3, Landon Rourke. Outside row number 2 and rivaling Landon Rourke, in row number 2 is going to be Aiden Lambert. Kevin Horner in P5, the Chad driver from Chad. Jeffrey Hyatt in the number 8 is going to be in P6. Jordan Indries, who we watched a little bit in practice and qualifying, he will be in P7. Dylan Alford in P8. Noah Norris in P9. And rounding out the grid is going to be the number 25 of Jamie Kreutoff. As Kevin Horner, not sure if he's actually from Chad or if I just played into the cards perfectly by calling him the Chad driver. If that is the case, then I feel bad for walking into that, but hey, I guess it's on me. iRacing official pace truck set to go through turn 3 and 4 for the final time here. Drivers are going to box things up. And very, very soon, we are going to get going here with heat race number 3. As I'm sure Zachary Metzner would love to get a heat win under his belt here in the first week of the DRT. Green flag in the air, and there goes Metzner. No one really able to hold a candle to him on this first lap. The traffic was a little congested back towards Kevin Horner and Aiden Lambert. However, not afraid to send it in there is Kevin Horner with the Chili's helmet. He is going to try to catch up to the number 16 of Landon Rourke here, but Aiden Lambert going to play spoiler to that, almost 3 wide as we head into turn number 1. For lap number 3, Kevin Horner around the top side, but Landon Rourke washed up a tiny bit. Going to stop that move. Going to nip it in the bud. Now returns the favor on Landon Rourke. Landon Rourke going to hit the switchback, and here we go, throwing slider lines. Going to try to see who can cave first, who can make the first mistake and concede the position around the back. It goes again. The switchback for Landon Rourke wasn't able to hook it up properly that time, and Kevin Horner has the advantage. That's going to be P3 solidified for the number 12 of Horner. And that is going to be our last transfer spot as well. So for Metzner and McLean, they are fighting for P1 here, but as long as they keep things clean, they're both going to be in. So really no harm, no foul there. I'm sure Jordan McLean is just looking for an entry into the show, I should say. So I'm sure he is perfectly fine with taking home the silver step on the rostrum here in heat race number 3. As for Kevin Horner, he looks like he might be on a little bit of a different mission here. Not only did he clear the rest of the pack, but he is now creeping up on the number 5 of Jordan McLean here. He is going to look to make a move, potentially. But it's going to be 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flagman. Zach Metzner in that number 17 MWSS machine. He's going to have led every single lap. We'll see if he leads the final one. Jordan McLean on the bottom. Gonna try to make something stick, but Metzner, he's got that track worked in how he wants it. The car is flying, and Zachary Metzner gonna take away heat race number 3. He led every lap, and Jordan McLean, to be honest, just didn't stand much of a chance. He comes home P2 with Kevin Horner up 2 spots into the transfer in P3. Wow, how cool is that? So it looks like we have our first consolation of the night starting. Therefore, my rule of it being top 3 might have not applied. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to get a I'll have to get some info for that for you guys to see who all we are taking out of the consolation here. But in the meantime, your starting grid for this first consi, Dalston Rutherford going to be starting on pole with Kevin Horner, Derek Jester, Kyle Davis, and Landon Rourke. Making up the top 5, Aiden Lewis, Kinzer Tosh, Noah Norris, Justin Byram, Zach Gold, Dylan Alford, and Casey Borgmeyer are going to make up the rest of your grid. Oh, and I apologize. We got TJ Boyd, who did not take to the track. That's probably why he did not show up on the grid, but he is technically in this consolation. So, in the event that TJ Boyd does not start this race, that will be his night over with. Very, very unfortunately. Reminder in the chat to go ahead and sound off on who exactly you're rooting for. Let the world know who you ride or die with here on the grid. They don't have to be in this first consolation, so do not worry about that. Any driver that's going to be racing in the main event here tonight, sound off on who you are supporting. As once again, I want to give a big shout out to Atlas, VGO, Lab Rats Racing, and Wotel, the World of Thunder Esports League, for their patronage, their generosity towards the series, towards the league. Dalston Rutherford has the button. He's going to push it early, just like all the drivers have tonight. We are green, 12 laps, and we're already yellow. So hang on, 86, that race is not going to start just yet. We'll take a look here at the start, and oh no, Kinzer Tosh just managed to, I think, clip that number 25 blue and red car. That's going to send him in the complete wrong direction. My, oh my, that's going to spell disaster for both Kinzer Tosh and Kyle Davis. Top 7 are going to make it out of the consolation as per one of our race director, one of our race officials, Chase Copeland. He says top 7, therefore it's going to be top 7. We got love for Cody Buck in the chat coming from iFearless801. TJ Boyd coming in the chat saying he had some technical issues and had to bail. Well, that is a sad sight, TJ. Hopefully we see you back in round number 2, June 29th, I should say. I apologize. We got some K-Dub fandom in the chat. Kevin Walker, I assume the father of K-Dub, gonna be supporting his son. Yeah, there's the good job son chat, so shout out to Kevin Walker. Shout out to Taylor Hardy as well, rooting for Justin Hardy. Here we go. We're going to try to restart this thing, gentlemen. We'll see if we can get a green flag run in this time. Going to be Dalston Rutherford in the number 5. League says 20, so basically anytime I say a number, just null and voided. It could be right, it could be wrong. Who knows? Kevin Horner on the bottom. Going to try to get around Dalston Rutherford, and he is going to do it with relative ease. Dalston Rutherford, I apologize, now throwing the slider. And these two are going to exchange that slider line, see who can get the advantage. The number 56 of Derek Jester, very, very close to these two, trying to maybe bag himself a consolation win. Here for Midwest Sim Sports, here comes Derek Jester now on the bottom side of Dalston Rutherford. Rutherford going to stay clear. He is going to now try to defend into the newest corner. Now around turn 1 and 2 again. Now Aiden Lewis is getting a little active. Down on the bottom side, he had to try to outrun Landon Rourke there. Landon Rourke, who we saw multiple weeks in the Nolan Racing Crown Jewel Tour. He was very, very quick. He has his flashes of greatness, but unfortunately, the average pace for him is just a little bit under the curve for what you need to be a consistent podium runner here in these big events. But Landon Rourke in just the past few months has gotten a ton better when it comes to racing around traffic. So the composure starting to build up, the mental fortitude starting to build up. We don't see Landon Rourke really cracking under the pressure like we used to. He is in P5, so he is safe for a feature slot. Noah Norris is going to be currently on the hot seat. Kinzer, Tosh, Dylan Alford, Justin Byram going to be losing out and going home early if they cannot find a way around Noah Norris. So all the drivers that are currently safe, Kevin Horner, Dalston Rutherford, Derek Jester, Aiden Lewis, Landon Rourke, Kyle Davis, and the driver you're seeing right now, Noah Norris. But here comes... who is that? I'm not entirely sure. It's going to be Kinzer Tosh. Yes, from earlier, Kinzer Tosh had a very, very poor start to the race. Has an opportunity now, final lap, going to throw the slider on Noah Norris. Noah Norris going to bring it back across. Final lap, this is for the final transfer spot. Kyle Davis goes low, Kinzer Tosh goes low, and Kinzer Tosh is going to take it in a heist of the century. Noah Norris is denied from our feature race here tonight to kick off the Dirt Revival Tour. Kinzer Tosh gonna take it in an absolute barn burner. Wow. What a performance from Tosh. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more consolation to get through before we head to our main event. Let's go over that starting grid. JP Shed from Never Lift Motorsports going to be in P1 with Scott Colm Jr. In P2, Aiden Lambert in the number 5, Nate Wimhoff in the number 48, going to be in row number 2, Brandon Jones, Jeffrey Hyatt. Going to be in row number 3. Jacob Isaac, Cody Buck, going to make up row number 4, Jordan Indries, Justin Upchurch, Justin Hardy, Jamie Kroitoff, and Zach Staggs are going to make up the rest of your grid here for our final consolation. As I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, it was brought to my decision that I believe something in the top right with the sponsors is not behaving properly. Unfortunately, I can't see it on my end, but apparently there's a flash on the right side of the screen every now and then, so I am currently working to fix that. I do so dearly apologize. Like I said, I cannot see it on my end, but I'm so dearly, dearly sorry that you have to see it on your guys' end. iRacing a Pace Truck is going to make its way off of the circuit. JP Shed, our leader, going to be battling some internet issues. So unfortunately, we have to take the camera off of him for just a second. As Aiden Lambert here in the number 5. But I believe the car actually says the number 2. So, you know, like I said, it's a free-for-all for the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. But he is going to try to defend from Scott Colm Jr. here. Scott had a very, very promising start to his heat, but unfortunately was not able to capture that transfer spot. And now Scott Colm having a little bit of internet issues, as I'm not sure what the issue is there. Aiden Lambert in P2. Nate Wimhoff, who frankly normally doesn't see himself in consolations very often. He knows all he has to do is secure top 7. Well, he's currently in P3, so he's looking good there. So now he just needs to kind of test some stuff out, find out what's going to be fast for the feature race. We've only got 8 laps to go before we get into our main event. The number 15 of Brandon Jones representing Midwest Sim Sports. He sits in P5, so he currently has a bid into our main event tonight. $50 to win. Oh, what a beautiful sight and sound that would be. $50 to win makes the broadcaster here want to jump in a car, but I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I'd even turn a clean lap in a super late model. That's why I'm up here in the booth, and I'm not down there racing. Here comes Brandon Jones, trying to get around the number 2. Jordan Indries having himself a little battle with the number 23, or 28, I apologize, that's sitting in front of him. That's going to be Jacob Isaac. Jacob Isaac coming through a few weeks ago with his best No Limit Racing finish. I believe it might have been a 4th or a 5th. So he is currently on a run of good form, and if he can get himself into the main event here tonight, then that will bang dividends for him and his stock. But he's got to wrestle with Jordan Indries in that number 57. 2 laps to go. JP Shed, Aiden Lambert, Nate Wimhoff, Jeffrey Hyatt, Brandon Jones, Scott Colm Jr. They've all got a bid, and this is for your final transfer spot. It's our final consolation before we get into the main event. Jordan Indries down on the inside. He's going to try to take the shortest distance traveled and cannot do it. Jacob Isaac is going to walk into the main event here tonight, starting in dead last, but the mission is clear for him and everybody else on the grid. They have got to win this race and get paid. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we head into what seems like a pretty long warm-up. However, drivers of the Dirt Revival Tour are going to have I believe it's a quick 6 here. I believe we're doing a dash of some sorts. So I am going to do my normal break, get my normal water like I typically do during the warm-up of every show. But when I come back, we're going to try to figure out a way to call this thing. It's going to be very hard considering it is in kind of a warm-up setting. But we are going to try. Drivers are lining up. So when we come back, you won't miss a thing. But when we come back, it's going to be the dash here in warm-up before our main event here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirt Revival Tour, season number 3, round number 1. Here at Volusia, do not adjust your sets. We're doing a quick 6 here. Tyler Bickford now being passed by K-Dub. That's Kevin Walker. Not sure how many laps we're doing here, as it is inside of the warm-up infrastructure, so a bit of a freestyle here by the race officials and race directors here at the Dirt Revival Tour, but overall it's going pretty well. As Tyler Bickford now across the start-finish line, I believe we'll be starting lap number 3 here, as he is going to be pinning it around the top side. Here comes that number 2 of Stephen Gaines the third. So it's going to look like Bickford, K-Dub, Bickford, Stephen Gaines, and then K-Dub. I can't look at anything here because of it being in the warm-up infrastructure. So I do apologize. I just kind of have to remember the cars here. As it looks like Clayton Johnson's going to be in 4th. Zach Metzner going to be rounding out the top 5. Jordan McLean had a little bit of an off, so he is going to be back in the pits. He will start the feature P6. Stephen Gaines has gotten around Tyler Bickford. And whoa, Tyler Bickford gonna throw the slider line, kind of parking in front of Stephen Gaines the third. Stephen Gaines now around the top side. He is going to make contact with Tyler Bickford. Very close. And I believe that is going to do it. So I believe it's Stephen Gaines the third. And then it'll go K-Dub. And to be honest, since I don't have the sheet, I don't really know. I'm not entirely sure, ladies and gentlemen. But that is going to be your quick 6. And now the warm-up has really started. So now, if you guys need a break, go get your snacks, go take a bathroom break, go do whatever you got to do. When we come back, it's going to be the main event here at Volusia, the Dirt Revival Tour, Season 3, Round Number 1, live on the OutPost Racing Network.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at him. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirt Revival Tour, season number 3, round number 1. Coming at you live from virtual Volusia Speedway here in Barberville, Florida. And here in just a moment, drivers will be revving their engines, exiting the pits for hopefully the final time here tonight. And we will get our 80 or 70 lap feature started. I apologize. As we'll run you through the schedule one more time. Here it is going to be Volusia here tonight, June 15th. 70 laps. Round number 2 taking place June 29th. 80 laps around Lanier National Speedway. Lernerville is going to be round number 3, July 13th for 70 laps. Round number 4, Peevely for 80. So we go 70, 80, 70, 80. But then round number 5, going to be another Crown Jewel race where $50 is up to grab for the race winner. It's going to be on August 10th. It's going to be for 100 laps around Charlotte Dirt. Man, what a fantastic time that will be. As we'll expand things here, we look at K-Dub, Kevin Walker in the number 24. We set sights on his car here, as we see a lot of other cars. The pit, not too illuminated like the track is. You often have a little bit of darkness when looking at those cars, and now the warm-up will be declared finished. Barney the flag man going to wave that checkered flag very, very rigorously. As we get set for our feature race here tonight, and that only means one thing: we've got to go over our starting grid. Now, ladies and gentlemen, things might get just a tiny bit complicated here, because for the top 6, it is going to sit as Stephen Gaines III. He won the dash, he won the quick 6 during the warm-up. So everything you see here for the top 6 is not going to be accurate. It's going to be Stephen Gaines and Tyler Bickford on that front row. Kevin Walker and Clayton Johnson are going to make up row number 2. Jordan McLean and Zachary Metzner are going to make up row number 3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gets accurate. In the P7 position, inside row number 4, going to be Kevin Horner. In the number 12, JP Shed in P8. Dalston Rutherford, Aiden Lambert going to make your top 10. Derek Jester, Nate Wimhoff, Aiden Lewis, Jeffrey Hyatt, Landon Rourke, Brandon Jones, Kyle Davis, Scott Colm Jr., Kinzer Tosh, and Jacob Isaac are going to make up your top 20 and round out your starting grid. So only 20 cars here tonight, as that is how many we are taking. So I believe in that instance, I believe it was the top 2 who actually made it out of the heats. It was not top 3, if my math is mathing correctly. And unfortunately, guys, P21 through P26, who did not make the show, might just unfortunately stay there. I'll try to nonchalantly figure out a way to maybe make those drivers disappear, but for now, we are green here at Volusia. 70 laps. Don't mind the black flag coming from any of those top 6 drivers. It was because of the quick 6 that they had. So they are going to get those penalties cleared, and we are going to be official and racing. Stephen Gaines through the first lap did not falter. More importantly, did not drop his lead position. However, Tyler Bickford having a little bit of a moment. He is looking to be off to a little bit of a struggle here to start our main event. Meanwhile, 3 wide for P5. Clayton Johnson sending it all the way up top, all the way where the Angels sing. The 121 of Kevin Horner is going to be rocking number 12 in the league. He was going to be the meat of that with the number 5, which is actually the number 20, because there's 2 number 5s on screen right now. That was Dalston Rutherford. So the yellow flag is going to come out. It looks like that might be due to Derek Jester. We'll take a look. And wow. Yeah, not exactly the way you would want your night to start if you're Derek Jester. Unfortunately, he kind of just kept coming down on that car that was inside of him. So that is going to be the first caution in our inaugural main event here for the DRT Season 3. Once again, I want to welcome everybody into the show. Thank you for inviting me into your homes or your mobile device, wherever you're watching this show at. Once again, big shout out to Atlas VGO, Lab Rats Racing, and the World of Thunder Esports League, or WOTEL for short, for hopping on board with the series, becoming a sponsor, really enabling cool stuff like this to happen. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to the DRT team. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for choosing me as the broadcaster. I hope you guys have had an amazing night so far. We're an hour in and we're barely into the main event, so don't worry. We've still got way more racing here for you guys tonight. The elbows are going to be out $50 to win here for your race winner. Stephen Gaines gonna keep pressing that button early, man. As we are out and away in the number 5 there of Jordan McLean. He is going to be the meat of a 3-wide sandwich that consists of K-Dub kind of leaving that whole situation behind. He really only gave it one corner of chance. But he looks so quick tonight. Kevin Walker, man, K-Dub is the nickname. And a dub might be what we see him walk away with here if he can continue to be a force. 3 wide all on the bottom half of the track. Fantastic work from these drivers to not pile it up. Here comes the 25. That's going to be Clayton Johnson who's holding it down on the bottom side there. Kevin Horner going to come get a taste, and K-Dub going to be the big loser of that situation. He's going to get left out to dry. Going to get kind of ran up into, but I mean, it was a racing deal. That's a lot of cars fighting for a very tiny amount of real estate on the track. The 17 of Zachary Metzner going to be the next one to be left out to dry. It seems like the bottom is really good right now. We see a lot of these drivers making it work, but as we expand on this race, as we get more laps in, that bottom is going to become so worn in that it's going to be really hard to get anything going. And that is going to be our second caution of the night. So I'm not entirely sure who might have been at fault there. Maybe Brandon Jones. We'll go take a look, and yeah, it was a 3 wide with him, the 17. And oh no, whoa. Just up onto the grass for Brandon Jones, and then, yeah, I mean, his car is toast after eating that. He has to come into the pits. Not going to be able to keep minimum race speed, so a little bit of a decker. Yellow flag going to come out. Let's hope Brandon Jones can get back up to speed on that one. Second caution of the night, which means we'll have our third start of the night. And you have to wonder, Stephen Gaines the third, he sits in the lead. He's been pulling that button extremely early. Are we going to see it again? And will the drivers react a little better to it this time? That is the important thing to note here as we get set to complete more laps in this main event. Drivers are going to box things up. They're going to get real tight, real close together here. As Stephen Gaines coming around turn number 3, about to start turn number 4, and that is when he is going to hit the loud pedal. We are green for a third time here tonight. Dirt Revival Tour season number 3. Here comes the 25 of Clayton Johnson, trying to battle Tyler Bickford here, who towards the top of the broadcast I said was probably a favorite to win here tonight towards the end of No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. There were a lot of moments where he was leading or very close to leading. And it's very interesting to see him kind of residing to that top side. He had opportunity to get down to the advantageous bottom lane, but he chose not to, and now he's sort of considering it and almost getting the door shut on him by the pink number 5 there of Dalston Rutherford, but now he's going to try to look down and make a move on Kevin Horner here in the 121. look down as a sense of, you know, literally, because Kevin Horner was on the bottom end of the circuit. Kevin Horner, very talented, very fast driver in his own right. I mean, he's running in P3. He is the provisional bottom step of the rostrum if the race were to end now. Meanwhile, Clayton Johnson still trying to fight Stephen Gaines III here. This is going to be for the lead. Still very early on in the race. 55 laps to go now across the stripe. That means 15 laps have been completed. Drivers working on number 16 right now. There is your top three. And your second three, you're having a battle of their own. It's going to be Tyler Bickford, Dalston Rutherford, and JP Shed. JP Shed in that 06. Driving for Never Lift Motorsports. Man, oh man, what a fantastic run he's having, and what fantastic stock Never Lift Motorsports would leave here with if JP can get himself into the top 5. This is a very competitive field here. This is definitely nothing easy for any of these drivers. Multiple 6K, multiple 7K. Here in the league, Stephen Gaines going to have the highest, I'm almost positive, with a 76.12. And for those of you who might not know, that is an absurdly high I rating. Gotta be in the top 0.5%, I'd assume, of the dirt racing community. The numbers are a little weird when it comes to the dirt racing community because, frankly, there's not too many of them anymore, so the numbers are a little inflated. I will say that. Stephen Gaines now starting to make a little bit of gain on Kevin Horner. Clayton Johnson also managed to spread himself out from Dalston Rutherford, who has also managed to stretch himself out from Tyler Bickford. You don't really see contestment, if that's even a word. I don't think it is. But you're starting to see resistance when you get to Tyler Bickford. He is on the very edge of that top 5. He sits in P5 right now. Zach Metzner is going to be right behind him in that number 17 mint blue and white Midwest Sim Sports late model. Metzner has been very, very solid in all forms of official and league racing as of late. He has just crested over that 6K I rating mark, looking to make his impact on the league and on the iRacing official service as a whole, heading into the back half of 2026. A lot of special events going on, so make sure you tune in to the community for that. You never know, you might see one of them here on the Outpost Racing Network. You truly just never know. 44 laps to go. Let's get an update from Aiden Lewis here in the number 55, having a few lap long battle here with Scott Colm Jr. This is going to be for P10. Scott Colm in the number 32, up 7 spots. Started this race P18, has made his way all the way up to P11. But on the opposite side of that coin, there sits K-Dub in P12, part of DSP. That's Dirty South Performance. He is going to be number 24 on the car. Half of that makes 12, and that is the position he is on in the race. He started, of course, in that top 6. He ran pretty well in the dash. But this feature race, he has not been able to really settle into anything. Hasn't been able to get comfortable and find his marks, find his grooves. As you can see, he's hitting the wall on the straightaway. Or maybe that wasn't exactly in the straightaway. It might have been just barely into the corner. But nonetheless, K-Dub having a quite miserable start to this main event. Only 39 laps remaining. Almost halfway through this fixture. Stephen Gaines the third still promptly in the lead, but Kevin Horner is quickly trying to make a challenge out of that. Drivers are starting to rip the cushion. Pin that throttle, keep the momentum up. Lap times are starting to be very, very quick. As it's going to be a 16.29 for Stephen Gaines that last time around. That's going to be by far the fastest lap of the active drivers right now. Fastest for the entire race is still going to go to our leader, Stephen Gaines, but it's going to be a few hundredths faster, a 16.20. Kinzer Tosh has had another moment. That's going to be our third caution of the night. Let's take a look. So Kinzer Tosh coming across the stripe. Turns number 1 and 2. There's the number 10 who cannot keep the slide all the way in the corner. The rear is going to bite up just a little much. He's going to catch grip. That's going to make him kind of wash up on the track and going to turn Mr. Kinzer Tosh there. So very, very unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure who that driver was. We'll have to take a look. Potentially Cody Buck, maybe? No, I disagree. Not. It was Landon Rourke there in the number 10. I'm telling you guys, with the numbers on the car not matching the number with the league, it gets very, very confusing to keep things straight. So I do so dearly apologize about that. However, more to the point, Kinzer Tosh had to go into the pits. He now sits a lap down. I'm not sure if he's going to get that one back or not. Lights on the iRacing official pace truck are going to go off, meaning we will be green next time around. So drivers are going to get real slow, real bunched up. And we will be prepared to see war again. Stephen Gaines the third, SG3. Going to be leading us again here in the number 2. He's going to wait for the iRacing official pace truck to get off the racing surface before sending it that time. I'm sure Barney the Flag Man loves to see that. He doesn't want his brethren or sisterin in the pace truck to get hurt here in these situations. We got to remember, they have feelings too, man. Who knows? Barney might just be an AI. He might be a deep learner. You never know. You never know when the robots come back and attack. You never know. Barney the Flag Man just might be one of them, so you better get on his good side now. The 121 of Kevin Horner. With an actual war going on behind him between Dalston Rutherford and the number 25 of Clayton Johnson. They're throwing slider lines. Dalston Rutherford into the wall. Gonna have to check his momentum up a little heading into turn number 3. That's gonna allow Clayton Johnson to get up and away. Zach Metzner now back kind of where he started. But it's not going to be for long. Jordan McLean, another driver, part of that quick 6 dash. During the warm-up, he is going to sit in P6. Dalston Rutherford now firmly sitting in P4. 31 laps to go, which means we have eclipsed past the halfway point. We are now on the final stages of this race. And with drivers clocking a 16.5-second lap time, we're going to be through a lot quicker than you guys might think. Make sure to lock in for these last 30 laps, much like Zachary Metzner seems to be doing here around the top side. Not going to be bothered by any of the battling or any of the situations that he sees behind him. Aiden Lewis, Jordan McLean Trying to do that exact same thing. Nate Wimhoff up 3 spots into P9. He's looking to have a little better of a result than barely making the top 10. The 24 of K-Dub still on the struggle bus, but he's managed to make his way back up into the top 10. He sits P8. Zachary Metzner right behind him, sitting P9. So as soon as I talk about Zach Metzner, something else happens to him, and he comes up short. And whoa, Kevin Horner is in the pits, ladies and gentlemen. And oh no, the 17 of Kyle Davis, it looks like. Looks like he had a little bit of a moment. He is going to kind of warp himself back to the pits almost immediately. Saving from the yellow flag, so big shout out to him for doing that. We're going to let these drivers continue what they do best, and that is putting on one heck of a show. You can see it down there in the bottom. Davis and Horner going to still be in the pit. Their nights are over. Tyler Bickford now sitting in what seems to be last place, as something has happened to him. And I would like to see what exactly happened to Kevin Horner here in the 121. Oh no. Oh no. Let's take another look at that. Into the corner. He's going to make up a lot of ground on our leader. And instead of running him over, he tries to maybe buffer some of his speed. And he is going to be up and over the catch fence there, the guardrail, I should say. That's going to send him back to the pits with immediate haste. So Steven gains the third now in a land of his own with a 1.2 second lead over Clayton Johnson. Dalston Rutherford is going to be a few seconds back the road as well. That's really where you see the first battle happening. This is going to be for P3, Aiden Lewis in a prime position now that a few of those top titans, like Tyler Bickford, like Kevin Horner, they are now out of the race. So Aiden Lewis has a big opportunity here. 19 laps to go. Stephen Gaines still firmly out front. Jordan McLean now wanting to enter himself into this conversation for P3. So it's going to be a 3-car battle. This is P3, 4, and 5. Don't sleep on K-Dub and JP Shed. They're having a battle of their own. This is for P6, and now the seas are starting to part for Kevin Walker. He's got 17 laps to try to get something done, but JP Shed is not letting it go for free. He is putting up one heck of a battle against Kevin Walker here in the number 55. Or I apologize, this is the 06. The other red and white car is going to be Aiden Lewis. In the number 55, he resides in P3. It's the first week, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get all this stuff coordinated. I'll remember all the drivers for next time. I apologize. It's the first time I'm seeing a couple of these drivers in a long time, like K-Dub. The last time I seen him, I believe, was in the first season of DRT. Back, you know, a year ago, maybe a little more than that. So it's nice to see a familiar face like that back on the network. Same with Dalston Rutherford. Aiden Lewis was an NLR driver. He sits in P3. Stephen Gaines the third in that number 2. Still just leading the way. He's checking out of this race. It's only going to be 1.5 seconds back from him to Clayton Johnson, but the lead is growing just a tiny bit, but the lead has elongated a ton. from him to Aiden Lewis. Aiden Lewis now battling Jordan McLean for this P3 spot. Kevin Walker got past JP Shed. It took him a minute, but he got it done. He now faces Dalston Rutherford, who sits half a second up the road from him. 10 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's all starting to come to a head for the drivers of the Dirt Revival Tour season number 3. Now 9 laps to go with our leader, SG3, crossing the line. K-Dub has a real bid here for a top 5 position, but he's got to get around Dalston Rutherford in order to do so. The drivers are running 2 completely separate grooves, as now they're going to kind of conglomerate, run almost the same line on entry, but still on exit. It's K-Dub trying to keep things tucked to the bottom, travel the least distance he has to. Meanwhile, Dalston Rutherford is really trying to stretch the legs of that super late model and get out and away. And a caution flag is out, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have at least one more stoppage for our race here tonight, and I believe it's going to be Clayton Johnson. Oh no! Clayton Johnson, who we just seen having a big battle. Look at that. That's a big oh no. We'll take a look here. As I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to rewind things if we can get a little bit of a rewind here. And it's going to be completely self-inflicted. Oh no. Maybe a little bit of a wall tap on entry. That's going to mess up the balance of the car. Send him tumbling towards that guardrail and that catch fence, and he's just going to cut the grass for a second. But hey, back down on the track. No need for a yellow there, ladies and gentlemen, am I right? He just took a scenic route. Oh, okay, but then he stopped his car on the racing line. As I don't know if anything was messed up with his car, but hey, if that was me, Clayton Johnson, I would have just kept on going, you know what I mean? What a fantastic ride there. It looked like a little bit of a grind session maybe from, you know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. If you know, you know. Fantastic game there. Driver's going to box back up for our, what I hope is our final restart of the night. Stephen Gaines III. Looked like he wanted to choose that top line for a second, but I don't know if maybe he was told to go back down or what, but he is going to reside on that bottom line now. And here we go. Stephen Gaines going to pull the button early once again. We are green. 6 laps to go here in the Dirt Revival Tour Season 3, round number 1 race. And what a fantastic way to kick things off across the stripe. Now 5 laps to go. SG3 firmly out in front, $50 to win. All these drivers are fighting over the same exact thing, but points are a thing here, ladies and gentlemen, so you can't be too aggressive, you can't be too reckless. It can't be win or bust if you have any sort of aspirations of winning the championship. Stephen Gaines III. Around turn number 4, 3 laps to go, and look at the chaos and calamity happening behind the top 2. I take that back. This is actually behind the top 3. K-Dub now has shot himself into P4 off the restart. And he might be looking for something even more than that. 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flagman. Dalston Rutherford is in a really big situation with himself, Jeffrey Hyatt, JP Shed, and Derek Jester. White flag in the air. Steven Gaines is going to take it. Aiden Lewis quickly in tow. He is going to keep things stuck around the bottom. But for SG3, it's been a night of sending around the top. He has been for season number 3. Race number 1, SG3. Steven Gaines the third is going to take it in what was an absolute show. My, oh my. And I mean, there's quite literally not a better and more powerful candidate to get things done. What a fantastic job from him. Wow. Whew. Holy moly. What a race. And we are going to talk to our podium here in just 1 minute. But man, I gotta cool down, ladies and gentlemen. It got hot up here in the press box. It got absolutely wild up here in the Outpost Racing Network global broadcast booth. But with that being said, we're going to bring in, or I thought we were going to bring in, I apologize. I unfortunately do not have permissions to move any of the drivers. So unfortunately, we are going to have to wait until hopefully someone can move Jordan McLean into the broadcast booth here, so we can get a good talking to him on what exactly happened, how he managed to pull this one together, man. What a fantastic finish for Jordan McLean. As he is going to be your P3 finisher here at Volusia. As Jordan McLean. Jordan McLean in the number 5. Man, you finished P3 here at Volusia. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah. What's going on, man?
You were fantastic all through the night here tonight. How did that track feel? And was it exciting being on the podium here in the very first race of the DRT season number 3?
Oh, yeah. It feels good to have a good showing. I felt good all night. Track felt good. Car felt good. Feel pretty confident going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, I want to ask you about the schedule. Now, with it being a 5-race schedule over the span of 10 weeks, that allows you to have an off week between every single race. Do you think that helps you? Or do you think that just kind of cools you off before the next race?
Oh, no, I'm always down for some downtime. I got a little boy and a wife, so any nights off is good.
Yes, sir, without a doubt. But next week, well, not next week, I should say, but in week number 2 here on June 29th, we go to Lanier National Speedway. Is that somewhere you're excited for, or is that somewhere you don't really care too much for?
I like it. I like any track gets slick top to bottom. Let them rip.
Yes, sir. Simple and straight to the point. I love to hear it. You finished P3 here tonight. Is there anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance?
Yeah, I want to thank the guys over at Midwest Sim Sports. I want to thank Brandon and Chase and all them guys at DRT for putting this on. Yeah, I want to thank my wife, Savannah McLean Art, and that's about it.
Yes, sir. Well, very good job here tonight, Jordan. You finished P3. Hopefully, we're talking to you more as the season progresses. Go enjoy that podium you got here tonight.
Sounds good, man. Looking forward to it.
as that was our third place finisher, Mr. Jordan McLean in that number 5. Now bringing in just Jordan McLean squared, if you think about it, the 5-5 of Aiden Lewis. He is going to finish P2 here tonight. Aiden Lewis, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You were very, very quick through every stage of the race. Unfortunately, not the start of it, though. Can you kind of walk me through what exactly happened on that start and how you kind of started on a bad foot there?
I don't know. I think I was trying to save at the start, really. I wasn't trying to use too much tire, but I probably could have pushed a little bit more harder at the start to get, a little further up front and then kind of saved, but I don't know. It's just, that's kind of the way it went on that one, so.
Yeah, I agree. Now, you did have a lot of battles, one with Jordan McLean, but also there a little ways through the race, you had a very long battle with what I believe was K-Dub and maybe also Dalston Rutherford. I think it was a purple car of some sorts. Now, tell me, when you go to battle like that and when it's for an extended period of time, how does that kind of weigh on your mental and how do you fight past it and continue on with the race?
I don't know. I guess just being faster, I guess, really. I mean, I was battling with Dawson there for a little bit, and I don't know. I guess he decided that he wanted to come down there and try and block me, but that didn't really work out too hot. So I got past him, and then Jordan got around him too. Me and Jordan were kind of like moving up to the field together. Really, we were all kind of just running the same line right behind each other, and yeah, while doing that, you gotta kind of have to save tire too, because I was trying to save tire enough to where I could use enough tire at the end to try and catch Steven and Clayton at the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic work from you. And, basically, like you said, you just had to be faster. So, I mean, I guess that's all it really boils down to at the end of the day. But you got P2 here at Volusia. Fantastic job. Good pace all night. Is there anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance here tonight?
Oh, yeah. Big, huge thanks to Midwest Sim Sports. They've taught me a lot of stuff and helped me a lot. And I was actually on a set tonight that Brennan Schatz made that I personally just liked. So I was using his set, and CFM, they give us a lot of stuff to go off of and build off of that we to our driving styles, and and real big thanks just to all y'all for putting this on, and Aces and X Designs for my wrap, and Steven for a good race. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. A good race indeed, and a very good job to you in that number 55 late model. You got P2 here tonight, up 11 spots from P13. Hopefully we get to talk to you more and more as the season develops.
Yes, sir. Thank you for streaming it also.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the kind words. That is Aiden Lewis, ladies and gentlemen, your P2 finisher here tonight. Now, unfortunately, our winner, Steven Gaines, is in the wrong channel. I cannot move unless they are in the broadcast waiting room. So, I, unfortunately, have no permission or authority to move Mr. Steven Gaines, our race winner. So, hopefully, the admins over there at DRT can get that sorted. And Steven Gaines is now here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Steven Gaines, very, very quick here tonight. And there really weren't but maybe 1 or 2 moments where it looked like you might not win. But 99% of the race here tonight, it was completely dominant. What do you credit that towards?
I gotta give a big shout out to all my guys. I don't get to run as much anymore as I used to, and the guys that can get on here and race that help me out a lot and give me a lot of information when I do get to race, and coming back and being able to run this league. Oh, definitely wouldn't have done it without Nick Roberts and the whole gang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, you Really nothing to be said there except for the fact that you were just oh so fast, blazing quick all night. You got the inaugural win here in DRT season number 3 next week, or I should say next round in 2 weeks' time. On June 29th, we head to Lanier. What do you feel about Lanier? How do you feel about it? And, what can you take from this race to the next round and, maybe continue this run of form?
Yeah, I'm excited for Lanier. Lanier's always been a fun track to me. It's very technical, even though it's not a technical looking racetrack. It gets really slick, and what you learned from tonight was we didn't reset the track at all once from hot laps all the way to lap 70. You know what I mean? So expect it to get really, really slick at Lanier and kind of be like a grudge race. It's gonna get tight. It's gonna be really tight. And I think we just unloaded with speed tonight. Just from the get go, we were quick out the gate, hot laps, and I'm looking forward to translating that over and hopefully going back to back and being up front the whole season.
Yes, sir. Well, if you put on the performance you did tonight, it seems that there is a very likely chance that you do end up in front all season long. But before we let you get out of here and celebrate your inaugural win and your payday here in DRT season number 3, round number 1, is there anybody you would like to thank or shout out for the performance here tonight?
Yeah, I got a few people that helped me out a lot here. I just want to thank first and foremost NLRA, Nick Learn Racing Association. That's my guys. I've been over there for 2 years now, and they're basically the family. And Apex and Nick Roberts, Colin Bocus, and BBS. And most of all, I would like to thank Blake Culver. Without him, I wouldn't have ran this league. He running his house car tonight. So if you ever need a wrap, go look at Atlas Designs. Dude does great work and great turnaround time. And Rush Dirt Car Series and Henderson Amusement, 727 Media for coming on board for this little league race series we got going on. And I just got to thank all my guys at NLRA and you for putting on this broadcast and this awesome league. It's great. This is what iRacing needs. We need more leagues like this where you can come and race on a Monday night and have actual fun on the game again and not get destroyed in 4 laps. So I really appreciate it for these guys taking the time and doing something this cool.
Yes, sir. Well, it is the Dirt Revival Tour for a reason, Steven. They're trying to bring back that fire, that spark that the online dirt racing community so dearly needs in these trying times. But thank you for the wise words. We're going to let you get out of here and celebrate not only your inaugural win here tonight, but also your payday. That's $50 going straight to your bank because of the win here tonight. So, Steven Gaines, appreciate you coming on board here, hopping up in the booth, and hope to talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. You too. You too. That was Steven Gaines, our race winner. Now, because I like to take a good amount of time on those interviews, no, we're actually not going to get hit with the black screen of death here. Typically, if you wait in the iRacing official lobby for a little too long, it just goes to a black screen. The race is null and void. However, we do get to see the beautiful Volusia Speedway, albeit virtual, here at Barberville, Florida. What a fantastic time it was here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to Atlas VGO, Lab Rats Racing, and Wotel, the World of Thunder Esports League, for hopping on board, sponsoring the series. Big shout out to the Arsenal YouTube channel and Monster Graphics for hopping on board with the network. So go check those guys out. I'll be honest, Arsenal is just my YouTube channel. I didn't have anything to put on the bottom right there. But hey, it's my network. I can do what I want. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it goes when you're the boss man. But no, seriously, guys, thank you so much for inviting us into your homes here tonight on a Monday night. Your week can now start off right. Now that the Dirt Revival Tour is coming to you guys 2 Mondays a month. That's bi-weekly next round, June 29th. At Lanier. Be there same time for the Dirt Revival Tour Season 3, round number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for tuning into the Outpost Racing Network. Our next broadcast Wednesday night for the Outpost Racing League Win Cash Wednesday Series. So you can catch that on the Outpost Racing Network. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell so you never miss a new post. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you in the next one.